Hey, what's up you guys? It's Marina, and today I'm coming at you with a long requested video. Some of my little singing tricks and tips and stuff like that. I am not a professional vocalist. I just like to sing, and I've gotten a few little online courses and stuff like that, but overall, I haven't had a vocal coach or anything. These are just a few of the things that I've learned that have helped me along the way, like learning how to sing in a rock band when I can't afford in-ear monitors, and just ways that I have just improved my range and just improved my singing technique, really. I don't know. All right, let's get started. The number one thing I really can talk to you about is just learning how to sing when you can't even hear yourself. I think this is so important for young musicians when they're trying to learn how to sing because most of the time, you cannot hear yourself, especially live. You can barely hear yourself. There's so much going on. There's amps all around you, and the drums just alone are enough to break your eardrums in half, and that's just something you have to get used to. Just not being able to hear yourself has just become such a regular part of my life that I have to sing even though I have no idea if I sound okay or not. So one thing that's super easy that's helped me is just earplugs, because we all know that if we close our ears like this, we can hear ourselves in our heads, not out loud like this, but in our heads, if we close our ears, you can hear yourself just up here. So if you get some earplugs, that'll definitely help you, at least a little bit. It's kind of annoying because it's a little bit hard to hear everything else when you do that, but I think it's a little bit worth it, especially if you're in an enclosed space during band practice and there's just drums. I can't tell you how deaf I have gone from drums. But the absolute best way I have found to practice a situation where you won't be able to hear yourself is just being able to recognize a pitch in your head and copy it out loud. And the best way I know how to practice that is by just hitting a note on a piano and seeing if I can match it. And you gotta be able to match it immediately. You can't go around finding the note. That's what I call it. And finding the note is basically if you press a note or whatever and you have to move your voice around in order to find it. So you're trying to go for a C and you're going, ha, and that's what the note sounds like, but you're kind of moving around trying to find that C ha, that's what finding the note is. You gotta be able to hit that C, ha, ha. Sorry if I'm really bad at explaining this. This is just the best way I know how, so I'm just trying to get it out the best I can. Number 2, posture. Even when you're bending over, you want to have your shoulders back, okay? This is the most important thing in the world, because if you're slouching, you are just completely restricting your chest, and you are constricting your diaphragm, and you're just not going to get as much breath into your note as you could if you opened up and you can breathe that way, it's nice to be able to breathe. So just practice your posture, even if you're bending over, you don't want to bend over like this. That looks ridiculous anyway. It looks like you have no confidence in yourself and what you're doing. Even if you're bending over, just keep your shoulders back. Keep it aligned with your head, I guess. I don't know how to say that. So one question people ask me sometimes is, how do you know if you're singing from your head or your chest voice? And this is a thing that singers talk about all the time, but nobody's ever very good at explaining it. But I kind of found a decent way to at least kind of understand what people are talking about when they say this. Head and chest voice. Okay, ready? You ready for this? If you place your fingers on your breastbone and you sing in the lower part of your range, you can feel your breastbone kind of vibrating a little bit. Even when you talk, you kind of feel it I feel the vibration down there. But if I sing from my head voice, there's no vibration on the breastbone at all. That is the best way I know how to explain it. When somebody told me that, I was just mind blown. That makes sense. When people talk about head voice, I thought it was just falsetto versus doing it lower, but it's not. One thing that I did before I ever even had a band, before I ever even knew how to play guitar, before I ever even knew how to do any of this stuff, was just practicing with other singers. Not other people, because that can be kind of terrifying if you have no idea what you're doing. But just playing some Christina Aguilera on your phone and just trying to sing with it and trying to match them. That is the most helpful thing I've ever done for myself, and it's so much fun, honestly. If you can be able to sing on pitch with a song, that is just oh my God, you feel on top of the world. I do it every day in the car. It's just all I ever do is just sing with other music. If you're not singing on pitch with them, you're doing something wrong, and you have to practice it. And this is what I mean. You gotta match their pitch, okay? You gotta match the notes they're doing. No finding it, no, like trying to figure out what note they're doing, you have to match it in your head. You have to figure out what they're doing and be able to replicate it immediately. So practicing with other singers is really good, but please focus on yourself when you do this. I know the song is sometimes like bumping and jamming and you just want to pay attention to how awesome the recording sounds, but the whole point of practicing is so that you can get better. So if you're practicing with another singer, listen to yourself and try to make sure that you sound good. Don't just like get super into it, because that's just distracting and it's a waste of time, and you're probably doing it wrong if you do that. This one is so stupid, but I feel like I need to mention it. Open your mouth. Like, I see so many people sometimes that are singing and they're just like you can't do that. Nobody can hear you and you look like you want to kill yourself. Like, that's so bad. You can't do that. And if you want to have like anything come out, like just opening your mouth, it like projects such confidence and such power, like even just the size of your mouth. Like, not even if you don't feel like you're a super like powerful singer or whatever, just opening your mouth like that does something for you. That's such a stupid tip, but I just like really felt the need to put it out there. Throat coat. You can't have a singing video without talking about throat coat. Throat coat tea is disgusting. I hate it. Some people really like it, but it's just nasty. It's licorice and ginger and lemon and all the nasty things that just are, they should not be in my mouth at all, like ever. But I drink it and it really like, it's disgusting, but it's necessary. Like, honestly, every time I drink throat coat tea, like I feel my voice feels stronger, you know? And I am so like, I'm such a baby about it. Like, I plug my nose and I'm like, oh, throat coat. But like, it's just so necessary sometimes, like especially if you're having a really rough day. Like, I need my throat coat. Like, it's so helpful. And you only need a tiny little bit just to coat your throat. Like, you don't need to like chug it, like gulp it down. Just a little sip, like, oh, it helps amazingly. It's like, I don't know who invented this stuff, but it's a miracle worker. So some people have asked me to talk about screaming, and I'm like, I don't consider myself a screamer, but I've done screaming. I've practiced screaming. It's a lot of fun for me, but I've done it during practice and during some live shows, so I'll tell you a little bit of what I know about that. So first of all, when I first tried screaming, I tried singing to an Of Mice and Men song, and I could not match what he was doing at all. And I was like, God, I suck at screaming. Like, I should never do this. Nobody should ever let me do this. This is such a bad idea for me. And then I like realized later that first of all, no two people sound the same when they're screaming. Like, you can do vocal impressions of like different singers, but screaming, like, everyone has their own scream, and if you try and copy someone else's, like, you're just gonna mess up your voice. It's not gonna work for you. Second of all, when you listen to screams on recordings, like, they have so much effect on their voice, or even just like reverb or like overdubs or something to make their screams sound more powerful and better. Even live, like just the amplification of like doing it with a microphone, like you're supposed to scream with a mic. If anybody tells you that your scream should sound equally good without a mic or without any effect on them, they are wrong. They are incorrect people. They are meant to be done with a mic, because if you do it by yourself, like it's just gonna sound so bad. You need the reverb, you need the amplification, and that is why when I practice screaming, I do it in the bathroom where there's a ton of reverb and I can hear myself really well and it bounces back to me. When I first started screaming, I used sounds instead of words first, because I found it really hard to scream words when I first started, because it's a completely different part of your voice. Like, going from what I'm used to, which is just singing all the time, to going like, rah, 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 like, it's so hard. So I practice like vowels, like, like, I don't know. I practice vowels first. So there are a couple of screams that I have figured out, but I don't use the same terminology as other people, because I don't understand it sometimes when people talk to me about these things. They're like, fry screams, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. I know how to like, bleh, like that's all I know how to do. It's rock and roll. Like, why do we need all these terms? There are two different kinds that I have figured out. There's the head screams, which Miss Lacey Sturm made a video about this, and it just opened my world up. Like, I just figured it out so easily after she explained it. She called it like the pterodactyl scream, because it doesn't hurt your voice and you basically just make a noise like a pterodactyl. So it's like, like, I like sometimes just stick my tongue out when I'm doing that. I don't know why, but like, it's just fun. And then there's like the chest scream, which is kind of like a growl for me, and it's like, like that. And those are just the two different kinds that I just like to practice, and I really cannot explain to you how I do either of them. I just kind of like messed around with my voice until I figured it out, and I only practiced screaming for like literally 10 minutes every day or every other day. It took a really long time for me to figure out, because I did not want to mess up my voice and I did not want to practice incorrectly. Like, every time I practiced screaming, it hurt my voice, and I was like, basically just trying to figure it out without straining myself. So don't spend too much time on this. Like, if you're trying to learn how to scream, like, seriously, just take it slow, because rushing it is not going to get anything. You're not going to get anything good out of that. Trust me. So I'm one of those singers that hates doing warm-ups. I hate it. It's the most boring thing in the whole wide world, and I wish I did not have to do it, but I do it sometimes. Like, if I feel like it, I might do it. I really should do it more, but I try to make warm-ups fun, okay? There are a couple things that I do. This one has proven to be the most helpful because I literally just feel the singing coming on. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to sing after I do this. Is the head buzzing thing, where you don't even really have to sing. It's like the least embarrassing of them all. It's basically just humming, and you try and feel the vibrations in your head. So, like, you don't even have to like sound good. I just do the buzzing in my head, and I try to feel the vibrations in my head and like in my nose, kind of like this. And I just think it helps me sometimes. After I'm done with that, I'm just like, hey, ready to go, like ready to sing. And sometimes if I'm feeling, snazzy, I try to like make up some like, little Disney riffs or something. Like, sometimes I try and do a little Ariel from The Little Mermaid, like just going up all the way like a scale. So I'm like, like, I just do the Little Mermaid thing all the time, and that's fun for me. Like, I hate doing the stupid, like, cat dog, red, yellow, leather, whatever the frick. Like, those are boring for me. I hate that. So, those are my little warm-up things, and those are the only two that I really do, because those are the only ones that I really feel like, do anything for me. Last one, everybody says this one, but I feel like I have to say it just because I thought this was so cheesy when somebody first said it to me, but singing really is all psychological in a lot of ways. Like, it really depends on the way you think you sound and the way you present yourself. Like, even if you're not that great of a singer, just coming on with your shoulders back and your mouth open and a big smile on your face and like, really projecting yourself and really showing off the confidence that, you're here to sing and you're here to show people what you got. And just doing that and just picturing yourself being the most awesome and amazing singer in the world, it just projects this level of confidence onto the audience that really makes us think that you're better than you actually are. Trust me, it's the truth. So sometimes when my voice is thrown and I feel really unconfident about how I'm gonna sound and stuff, I capture this mental image in my head of me being like so badass and so awesome at singing that day. And I just give it my everything. Like, even though, I feel like crap and I feel phlegmy and I feel tired, like, it doesn't matter, if you picture yourself being the most badass, the most fabulous, the most talented bad bitch in the world, like, those people are the ones who are going to get a standing O, round of applause. They are going to, be the ones who get people coming up after them and being like, wow, that was so great. Like, even if your voice isn't on point that day, if you come up there with a big fat smile on your face and a lot of energy, like, I guarantee everybody's gonna love what you do. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that these helped. I'm sorry, I'm really not that professional. To see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. And if you want to help us make videos like this, you will be our best friend in the whole wide world. And you should totally go to patreon.com/Echoheart, because those people, our patrons, are the ones that are like here for us. They are the ones that are like making this happen for you. Like, this video probably wouldn't have been made without them, We should give them a round of applause. Thank you. Scream the way you scream, sing the way you sing, just do it with a big fat smile on your face and present yourself, because you are fabulous and you're gonna kill it. So I love you guys so much. See you later. Bye.